It has been 458 days since the outbreak of the Israel-Hamas war that has claimed over 46,000 lives in Gaza, nearly 900 Israeli soldiers. On October 7, 2023, Hamas launched a devastating attack on Israel, taking 251 hostages. Since that fateful day, negotiations for a potential exchange of hostages for Palestinian prisoners have remained elusive, with no resolution in sight. Both Israel and Hamas have repeatedly accused each other of sabotaging the peace talks, each side blaming the other for the failure to reach a resolution. In fact, on Monday, Israel revealed that Hamas is yet to provide any update on the status of 34 hostages the group had previously claimed it would release as part of the first phase of a potential exchange deal. For months, mediators from Qatar, Egypt, the United States have been working tirelessly to broker a resolution to the conflict in Gaza. Recently, these mediators resumed indirect negotiations between Israel and Hamas, even as Israeli forces continue their intense assault on Gaza. In a statement, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office declared, and I'm quoting here, "As of now, Israel has not received any confirmation or comment from Hamas regarding the status of the hostages listed," quote unquote. This comes after a Hamas official reportedly provided a list of captives the group was willing to release. The outgoing U.S. Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, however, voiced confidence that a ceasefire deal in Gaza would come together, but possibly after President Joe Biden leaves office.
So what I can tell you is this. We very much want to bring this over the finish line in the next 2 weeks, the time that we have remaining. And we will work every minute of every day of those 2 weeks to try to get that to happen. If we don't get it across the finish line in the next 2 weeks, I'm confident that it will get to completion at some point, hopefully sooner rather than later. And when it does, it will be on the basis of the plan that President Biden put forward and that virtually the entire world supports.
Late on Sunday, a senior Hamas official told AFP the group had agreed to release 34 Israeli prisoners from a list presented by Israel as part of the first phase of a prisoner exchange deal. The official, requesting anonymity, said the initial swap would include all the women, children, elderly people and sick captives still held in Gaza. He also said that Hamas needs a week of calm to communicate with the captors and identify those who are alive and those who are dead. Interestingly, Hamas earlier had released a non-dated propaganda video of a 19-year-old hostage, Liri Albag. In the 3.5-minute-long video, Albag, a surveillance soldier, states that she has been held for over 450 days, indicating it was filmed recently. Albag, stationed at the Nahal Oz post, was abducted along with 6 others by Hamas on October 7. One was rescued and another was recovered dead after she was murdered in captivity. The other 5, including Albag, are still hostages. Israel has condemned previous such videos of hostages as psychological warfare by Hamas. During their October 7, 2023 attack on Israel, which began the Gaza war, Palestinian rebel groups seized 251 hostages, of whom 96 remain in Gaza. The Israeli military saying 34 of those are dead. Since the war broke out, there has been only one truce in November 2023 that saw 80 Israeli hostages freed in exchange for 240 Palestinians released from Israeli jails. Neither Israel nor Hamas have provided concrete details about the latest round of talks in Doha. However, over the weekend, Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz informed the relatives of a hostage that negotiations are ongoing. The time, however, is quickly running out for the families of the hostages, you see. The Israeli campaign group, the Hostages and Missing Families Forum, has called for a comprehensive agreement to ensure the release of the captives. In a statement, the forum emphasized, and I'm quoting here, "We know that more than half are still alive and urgently need rehabilitation, while those who have been murdered must be returned for proper burial. We have no more time to waste. A hostage ceasefire agreement must be sealed now," quote unquote. They are demanding answers to a crucial question. Who is obstructing the truce deal? Netanyahu or Hamas? As winter's grip tightens, a dramatic escalation unfolds on both sides of the Russia-Ukraine border, while Moscow celebrates capturing the strategic town of Korokhove. Ukrainian forces launch a bold counter-offensive into Russia's Kursk region. Our next story takes a closer look at the changing battlefield dynamics.
The war is intensifying. Explosions echoed across the Kursk region. The skies are thick with smoke. The fighting is relentless. Moscow accused Ukraine of launching a new offensive in western Russia's Kursk region, where Russian forces have struggled for months to secure control. Ukrainian officials claim that Russia has suffered devastating losses, including up to a battalion of North Korean infantry and elite paratroopers. Russia claims that it has killed or wounded 340 Ukrainian soldiers in the area. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken described Kursk as critical to Ukraine's position in future negotiations.
Their position in Kursk is an important one, because certainly it's something that would factor in to any negotiation that may come about in the coming year. I think it's going to be very, very important that if this gets to a point where there is negotiation and where there is eventually a ceasefire.
Kyiv is now saying that security guarantees will only work if US provides them.
Without the United States, security guarantees are not possible. I mean these security guarantees that can prevent Russian aggression. Without Trump and without the United States of America, there won't be NATO.
Russia continues to capture new territories. These are images from Korokhove in the Donetsk region, where Russian forces are celebrating the capture of the crucial town. The victory for the Russians came after months of brutal fighting. The town has been under relentless attacks from artillery, multiple rocket launchers, powerful guided bombs and drones that have shattered buildings. Korokhove's thermal power plant, reservoir and position on a vital highway make it a crucial victory for Moscow. There are fears that the capture will embolden Russian troops to move more fiercely towards Pokrovsk, which is a key road junction and a rail distribution center, furnishing supplies to a broad span of the Ukrainian front line. Russia has been driving westward in a slow and costly effort to capture all of Donetsk. Ukraine is short of troops on the front lines and is training to hold back the bigger Russian army. The conflict enters a new phase of uncertainty, with each side seeking to strengthen its negotiating position through battlefield gains. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.